This is John with Performance Plus, your online source for unique tips and ideas and concepts to help you build your tennis game. And today we're going to talk about the wrist snap on the serve. And over the years, there's been many famous coaches and announcers and commentators and so forth. She has great wrist snap. Make sure you snap your wrist. Snap, snap, snap. So, I really delved into it and say, is there really wrist snap? What is really the role of the wrist on the serve? And can we really come to terms with where the power really comes from? There was a fairly famous coach who had an article in the back of Tennis Magazine in 2015. In the back of the magazine, he said the wrist is the critical piece to the serve, and it creates the power and the spin and all of these things. So there's a lot of people that talk about it. There was another former famous player that was on the Tennis Channel last year, and she said, to get more power, snap your wrist on the serve. So she was going like this as she was saying it. So, I thought, well, I really need to get to the bottom of this, and let's see if we can figure out where the power and the control really comes from on the serve. And it starts, for me, with sort of common sense. So, is the wrist a strong joint? Is it supported by large muscle groups? Or is it vulnerable? Is it easy to sprain? Is it easy to break? I think the answer is yeah, the wrist is not that strong. It's not a strong joint. So my theory is that the wrist cannot create power. It can just be a messenger of power or movement that is created somewhere else. And now we need to get down to the bottom of what that somewhere else is. Okay. Now you probably noticed by now that I'm wearing what appears to be a brace on my wrist. And now I'm not injured, but this was part of my investigative process. Was I created a product, and they now call it the Performance Plus Serve Motion Training Product. I kind of nicknamed it the No Wrist Snap Wrap. So what this device does is it holds the wrists so that the wrist can't snap. It can't lay back, and it can't snap forward. And I served without this on, and I hit a certain speed, and I put this on, and I hit just exact same speed, but I felt something maybe with a little more emphasis on something that I maybe had never felt before, and I started to realize where the real critical movement and the power of the serve motion comes from. And we're going to get into that here. But this product that I've created and designed allows for the ulnar deviation, 30 degrees, from here to the top. That's almost 45 degrees, right there, to the top. But it holds the wrist so they cannot bend backwards. So why is that important? Well, we've all heard the coaches say, make sure you don't have a waiter's tray lay back with your racket. Well, this keeps you from having that. You cannot do that. You cannot lay the wrist back with this because the wrist simply won't go back. That's wonderful, okay? The other thing is, therefore, you cannot serve with this on with a forehand grip or anything near a forehand grip because it just won't do it. It just won't go anywhere. It's just holding. So now it requires you to get a continental grip, and the production model has markers that help you line the grip up. And now that you have the continental grip and you hold this, it holds you in, and you use the power of the real motion that you see the pros use. And that power, that range of motion, is from the internal rotation of the shoulder. So when I come into the ball, you look at all pros as they're coming into contact, the racket is on edge. It's on edge and it rotates through. And if you look in slow motion on contact, the wrists are always straight. They're not broken. And if you look past contact, the wrist is still straight. It's not broken. So what moved the racket? Well, the internal rotation of the shoulder, and then a little more through the forearm creates the movement. But the real power originates in the shoulder. The real movement originates in the shoulder. And that's critical to get if you want to have that professional movement where, again, you generate easy-looking power. It's simple. It's flowing. The energy comes through the shoulder and it comes down and through. And if you look at famous servers all the way back to, say, Pancho Gonzalez, Jack Kramer, and then we can go into the era of Boris Becker, and we can look at Pete Sampras, Roger Federer today, Milos Raonic. All of them have a very similar finish, and that finish, we've seen all the pictures, it looks like this. So the side of the strings that actually made contact with the ball are now facing the side fence, and the shoulder is still up, is the last thing to come down. So what does that mean to you? Well, that means that when you go into your movement and you get up into this area, you don't want to go flying through contact. You want to actually hold the shoulder and let it rotate over and then come down last. This product will help you do that. This product is going to give you a professional service motion that will, your friends, your tennis opponents and friends are going to say, hey, how the heck did you get that motion so nice? Where did you learn that? And this simple device with the supporting training videos, the package, will help you develop a professional serve motion. There's nothing like it on the market, and it makes so much sense. So if you would like to get the Performance Plus training, serve motion training product, the no wrist snap package, let me know. Go to my website, send me information. If you get on my list, when the product is produced and comes out, you'll get the product and the package at a greatly discounted price. But I think you can see the logic in this. It makes so much sense for this to hold the power and let the power be delivered through the shoulder. And that is what you're really after. That's the professional movement that we're all after that seems to be somewhat of a mystery out there. So the takeaway from today is, don't worry about snapping your wrist. We're going to teach you how to generate the power and the rhythm of your serve correctly, and the wrist part will just hold and transmit the power through the racket into the ball. And pretty soon you'll be popping serves with tremendous power and accuracy, and you'll be the envy of your opponents who are wondering where you developed such a beautiful professional service motion. So I look forward to hearing from you. This is an exciting product. It actually solves a couple of the myths that are out there that really don't make any sense, and once and for all, we can put to bed what the role of the wrist really is on the serve.